Yes, sir. Okay. Stay ready.
Yes, sir.
Let the record reflect Mr. Moorer is present. Bring in our jury. Thank you, sir.
Exactly, it's like 200.
Good morning, gentlemen. Hope you had a good evening. We're ready to continue the matter as we've done each morning we assemble. We ask that each of you continue to honor the oath that you took, and that is that you've not talked with anyone, you've not allowed anybody to talk with you, you've not conducted any independent research, you've not discussed the case among yourselves, and you've not watched any news the council read any news. Make that commitment, say, I do. And if you're unable to make it, thank you again. Appreciate it. Good morning. You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, the state's going to call Lindsay McGraw to the stand.
Please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You solemnly swear or affirm that evidence you're about to give in court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
My name is Lindsay McGraw. Last name is spelled N-C-G-R-A-W.
Mr. McGraw, if you don't mind, tell this jury where you're currently employed.
I'm currently employed as an investigator with the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
About 25 years. I retired from the Air Force in 1996 as an investigator with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. From there, I went to the Solicitor's Office in Spartanburg as an investigator, and I'm currently employed with the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office since 2005.
And what are your current responsibilities in Spartanburg?
I'm assigned as the computer forensics investigator for Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And if you don't mind, tell this jury exactly what you do as far as being an investigator in computer forensics.
My task is to recover any evidence from computers, either data that's on the computer or it has been deleted for use in court. I have specialized training and use specialized tools to recover that data. Recover from computers, cell phones, GPS units, basically any electronic device that holds digital data.
Okay. And how many times have you testified in court regarding computer forensics?
I'm not exactly sure how many times, but it's, I would say less than 10. But
Okay. And how many times have you been qualified as an expert in computer forensics?
approximately 3, I believe, 3
Okay.
separate cases.
And about how many cases have you worked in computer forensics?
Oh my goodness, several hundred.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state wishes to have Mr. McGraw qualified as an expert in computer forensics.
No, yes. Very well. He will be permitted to render opinions in that area.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. McGraw, did you have an occasion to assist us on the case that we're here today for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you don't mind, tell this jury how that came about.
Okay, I was contacted by the solicitor's office here to perform an extraction of data from a navigational unit on an F-150 pickup truck that they had recovered in reference to this investigation. I had recently been trained by Brilla Corporation in the area of vehicle forensics. This was in October 2015. They taught us how to recover data from a vehicle nav unit. Specifically for this case was the Sync Gen 2 system on an F-150 pickup. I was able to recover that data and then perform an analysis of that data.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'm showing you now what's been marked as already in evidence, the state's evidence number 57. Tell this crowd what this is.
I'm just going to check the serial number on it first. Yes, ma'am. This is the Sync Gen 2, Ford Sync Gen 2 system that was removed from the vehicle in my presence.
Okay. And if you don't mind, this is a, tell them exactly what this does in the vehicle.
Okay. I'll try not to get too technical. This is a Ford Sync system Generation 2. It is a module that records telematics and infotainment data. To make it easy, it records navigation data from your GPS unit if it's installed in the vehicle. It records pairing of phones so that you can use your phone from within your vehicle. It records text messages, call logs, that type of data.
Okay, so if you pair your phone with your truck and it has this sync module, then this is going to be able to recover that that phone was connected to the truck.
That's correct. It's historical data.
Okay, and is it able to collect locations of where you are when you open a door or crank the car up?
Yes, ma'am. Those are called events, and events are reported sometimes with a date time stamp and a geolocation.
Okay, so when you're opening your door in Myrtle Beach, it's going to give a GPS coordinate of where you are when that door opens.
Yes, ma'am. We could do that.
Now, were you able to recover any data off this sync module?
I was.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind, are you aware of when the incident occurred in this case of December 18th of 2013?
Sorry, what's the question?
Were you aware of the incident time frame we were interested in
Yes,
as
ma'am.
far as December 18th, 2013?
Yes, ma'am. About 3:40 in the morning.
Okay. And were you able to recover any data off this sync module before that incident date?
I was.
Okay, and if you don't mind, tell these jurors where you were able to collect those GPS locations.
Let me refer to my notes. Okay, prior to December 18th, 2013, I recovered location data for Las Vegas, Nevada, which timestamped to November 25th, 2013, and Shawnee, Oklahoma, which timestamped to November 22nd, 2013. And that was it as far as prior to the incident.
Okay, and and that data was off of this sync module as to where the truck had been?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, were you able to collect any GPS locations after the time frame of December 18th, 2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if you don't mind, tell these jurors where those locations were.
Okay. Immediately after the date most close in time and proximity to the December 12th, or excuse me, the December 18th date was a location in Kissimmee, Florida, and that was January 16th, 2014.
Okay, so you were able to collect items and locations before, what was that last date in December? Or November?
In November. Well, I did pull data for the truck when it was purchased.
Okay.
So that was prior to December 18th, which was November 8th.
Okay,
Excuse me, and that information, or that geolocation, came back to Beach Ford in Myrtle Beach, which was the day the truck was initially purchased.
okay,
So that was November 8th. And then November 22nd was Shawnee, Oklahoma, and November 25th was Las Vegas, Nevada.
okay. And then you were able to collect some location data in January. What was that date again?
Kissimmee, Florida, that was January 16th, 2014.
Okay, so the question I have is, were you able to collect any GPS coordinates in Horry County around December 18th of 2013?
No, ma'am. I found no coordinates for the Myrtle Beach area at all.
Okay. And would you have expected to be able to collect data from Horry County around that time frame?
I would expect to, since the truck was used in this area during that time frame. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you were able to collect data from before the incident and after the incident, but absolutely no data around the time of the incident when the car was here in Horry County?
That's correct.
Mr. McGraw, I've got a question, just because there was no data found in that time frame. Tell this jury, is it possible to reset the navigational system and to delete the information off of it?
Sustain is leading phrase of question.
Is it possible for an individual to delete?
heard the question yet. Before, let her finish answering, let me rule before we try.
Yes, sir.
Right. State your question.
Is there anything to indicate on this module whether or not anything was deleted?
I would sustain the objection. Rephrase your question.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just briefly, Mr. McGraw, the data box we're talking about is from the Ford F-150 we're dealing with in this case,
Yes, sir.
and you analyzed that as an expert.
I did.
And in going through that, you found that this truck was in Oklahoma in November 22nd. It was in Las Vegas November 25th, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then it was in Florida sometime in January.
That's correct. 2014.
All right, thank you. No further.
Redirect.
No further questions.
Thank you. You may step down. This witness to be excused unless you wish it to be excused.
Yes, please, Your
Any
Honor.
objections? You're free to leave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wait, next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. This time the state calls Ellen Berry to the stand.
Please raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give before in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
My name is Ellen Barry, B-A-R-R-Y.
And Ms. Berry, if you don't mind, tell this jury where you're currently employed.
Sam's Club here in North Beach,
And how long have you been employed there?
8 years.
Okay. And what are your job responsibilities?
I'm the asset protection manager. I take care of security and losses and things like that.
Okay. And are receipts and purchases made at Sam's Club kept in the ordinary course of business?
Yes,
Okay. And are they kept in a way that they can't be tampered with?
yes,
Okay. And are you able to recover that information when you want to?
yes,
Okay. And were you able to recover, in this case, purchases made by Sidney Moorer?
yes,
Okay. And do you have a receipt that indicates the date and the purchases that he made?
yes,
Okay. And did you bring it with you?
I did.
Thank you.
That's the receipt. The rest of the purchases for that account here.
Thank you. I'm going to show it to the defense counsel so he knows what we're looking at. Your Honor, this time I'm showing her State's Exhibit 71, 72.
Thank you.
And are these the records from Sam's Club?
Yes, they are.
And are these records kept in the ordinary course of business?
Yes,
And has anyone tampered with them?
no,
Okay. Your Honor, this time the State wishes to move them into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection, state 71 and 72 would be.
Thank you, Your Honor. And do these indicate the purchases made by Sidney Moorer?
yes.
Okay. And if you don't mind, tell this jury what purchase he made in December 21st of 2013.
He purchased a 16-channel DVR system,
Okay.
security system.
Okay. And when you say security system, you mean cameras or?
Yes,
Okay.
it was a 10-camera system.
Okay. Okay. And what is all included in that system, do you know?
The DVR to record and security cameras, and
Okay.
he also bought a TV monitor along with it.
I'm sorry?
He bought a TV monitor along with
Okay.
it.
So a monitor, cameras, and a DVR. And that was on the 21st of December.
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor?
Do you have any information as to why this was purchased?
No.
You have no information whether it was purchased because of harassment on his property, people on his property,
No.
looking for him, looking at things? No?
No, I don't know why it was purchased.
Thank you, ma'am. Nothing further.
Redirect.
No further questions, Your Honor?
Okay, next witness, please.
Judge, today we call Jimmy Shirley to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth and what you got? Please state your full name and last name.
James Schroering, Schroering.
Good morning, Mr. Make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Shoring?
Schroering, yes.
Shoring. Where are you currently employed?
I work for a forensic company called DME Forensics. That's D as in Delta, M as in Mary, E as in Echo.
And what does DME Forensics do?
We are a forensic technology and consulting company that specializes in digital and multimedia evidence, things like video forensics, audio analysis, those types of activities.
And what is the position? What is your position in the company?
I'm the president of research and development, as well as a forensic examiner of video and audio evidence.
So would you consider yourself a forensic video analyst?
Yes.
Mr. Shoring, are you familiar, what exactly is the field of forensic video analysis?
It's the scientific examination, evaluation, and/or comparison of video in legal matters.
Does this field have anything to do with digital video recorders?
Yes.
How so?
Digital video recorders are used in all sorts of scenarios today, businesses, homes, outside areas in municipalities to record activities for surveillance purposes. And so we often are asked to either recover or examine footage that was recorded by those devices.
Okay. What sort of degree or do you have for being a forensic video analyst?
My degree is a Bachelor of Science in computer networking. I also hold associate's degrees in internet networking technology as well as database technology. And then there's a significant amount of on-the-job training when you first start in a field like this.
Career-wise, how did you come to be at DME Forensics?
Way back in my career, I started as a PC technician as well as a network administrator. Getting into forensics, I started at the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation as a digital evidence technician and worked my way up to become a digital evidence analyst.
What year was that you started at the North Carolina, what was it, North Carolina Investigation Division?
State Bureau of Investigation
Bureau of
at the
Investigation.
Crime Laboratory. That was 2003.
2003. And have you been, how long, and what, after the North Carolina job, what did you do next?
In 2009, I worked for Target Forensic Services as a part of their assets protection team. We did forensic video and audio analysis, both for target investigations as well as pro bono work for law enforcement in violent felony cases.
How long did you work at Target?
A little over, I In 2011, I left, so a little over 2 years.
Where'd you go after Target?
I worked for the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Quantico, Virginia, as a forensic video examiner in the Forensic Audio, Video, and Image Analysis Unit.
And the Federal Bureau of Investigation is commonly referred to as the FBI?
Correct.
How long did you work for the FBI?
Just under 3 years. I left to start DME in May of 2013.
In all these jobs, what sort of experience have you had with digital video recorders?
Digital video recorders came to become more common as a replacement for VHS-based surveillance systems or videotapes, probably around 2005, 2006 timeframe when I was at North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. Everything since then has been either evidence that has come from those devices or examining the devices themselves. Specifically, when I was at the FBI, I did quite a bit of work on recovering deleted data from these types of devices.
What sort of trainings have you had to be able to do this type of work?
I've taken significant amounts of training, week-long courses, probably getting close to, if not over 1,000 hours of training in topics like computer forensics, video analysis, enhancement, processing, audio analysis, recovery of data from CCTV systems, those types of trainings.
And do you yourself present any trainings?
I do. I teach both 1-hour lectures at conferences all the way up to week-long courses in things like video recovery from CCTV systems or examining the data that came from those types of devices.
How have their trainings been received? Have you received any negative feedback?
No.
Do you have any special certifications in this field?
I'm a certified forensic video analyst from the Law Enforcement and Emergency Services Video Association. It's commonly referred to as LEVA. As well as a certified forensic video examiner from the IAI, which is the International Association for Identification.
Are these recognized organizations in your field?
Yes, they are.
And have you at all times since being certified remained certified?
I have. I just recently renewed the certification by the IAI.
Mr. Shoring, in regards to your career, could you estimate how many DVRs you've examined?
DVRs specifically, or evidence that came from DVRs?
DVRs and or evidence that came from them?
Probably over 1,000 cases of evidence that came from them in some capacity. Actual DVRs that I placed my hands on, probably around 100. It would be hard to say for sure.
Okay. Rough estimate. Have you ever been qualified as an expert in court before?
Yes, I believe about 15 times.
And in what areas were you qualified?
Forensic video analysis, as well as forensic audio analysis, DVR analysis most recently.
Your Honor, I would tender Mr. Shoring as an expert in DVR analysis.
Objection. Without objection, you permitted to read the opinions.
I'm sorry, you said a forensic.
You said
Video analysis?
DVR analysis.
Okay.
Mr. Shoring, let me show you what has been identified as State's Exhibit 53, a digital video recorder that has already been identified as coming from the defendant's home. Please take a second to look at State's Exhibit 53.
Just a moment.
Yes, sir. Are you familiar with State's Exhibit 53 at this point for identification purposes?
No.
Did you have a chance to review a digital video recorder in regards to this case?
Yes.
Is that not the digital video recorder that you analyzed?
No, it's not.
Thank the court's indulgence. Sure, excuse me. I think I handed you the wrong exhibit. I apologize. That's why you're the expert, not me.
John, may I inquire what he was handed, if that's already an exhibit?
It was State's Exhibit 53 for identification. It appears to be some sort of, I don't know what it is. It's in a box.
It is a digital video.
I don't know what it is. But it obviously, that was a trick question to test you.
Sure, excuse me. Let me show you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 52 for identification purposes. Is this one?
No, it's not.
Ms. Shuring, did you have a chance to examine a DVR in regards to this case?
I did.
All right. Based upon your examination of that DVR, here's the exhibit that just got placed in the evidence. The digital video recorder that you analyzed, was it consistent with being a 16-channel digital video recorder?
Yes, it was.
Okay. In your examination, in your expert opinion, were you able to determine when that video recorder began recording?
I was able to determine that.
And when did the video recorder begin recording?
If I may have a copy of my report just for be sure I give you the correct date.
Look at this marked. Thank you. Please let the record reflect and show the witness what has been marked for identification purposes. State's Exhibit 73. Mr. Schwaring, is that a copy of your report?
It is.
If you would, please take a minute to see if that will refresh your recollection as to when the digital video recorder you analyzed began recording.
The approximate date and time that I was able to determine that it appeared that the digital video recorder started recording was December 21st at about 7 p.m.
December 21st at 7 o'clock p.m. Was there any reason to believe that at the time this digital video recorder began recording that it was not a new DVR?
Based on my analysis, no. It appeared to be a brand new installation.
Did you find any recordings or any information on that DVR prior to December 21st, 2013?
No, I did not.
Thank you, Mr. Schwaring. I have no further questions. Please answer any questions with this question.
So you have any idea where Mr. Moore's $1,000 DVR system is located?
I do not.
Okay. After you had it, did you give it back to the state?
I placed it with UPS to return back to the state, and I believe it was received by them.
So basically, let me understand if I get your testimony correct. The DVR system that you looked at is consistent with being purchased on December 21st of 2013.
I was consistent with being installed on December 21st and first operated at that date, yes.
All right. Have you been qualified ever as a forensic video analyst
I have,
in that field?
yes.
You know, I would move to have him qualified as an expert in that area.
Your Honor, I would just object on the basis of improper foundation.
He's laid the foundation. About what he's been doing. It stated he could qualify them. Have you ever been qualified in that capacity?
I have.
But that's what you testified.
Yes, sir. There's no objection.
Very well.
Have you ever performed reverse projection in your career?
I have in training. I haven't been asked to do it in an actual case as of yet.
Okay. So do you, let me back up a little bit. Your time with the FBI was 3 years?
A little under 3 years, yes, sir.
Okay. And you are a forensic video analyst?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you familiar with the concept of headlight spread pattern analysis?
Vaguely familiar. I've heard of it, and I've heard of people doing it, but I haven't done any significant amount of research at this point.
So then, and this, you may have answered the question, I'll be specific. Are you aware of any research that's been done in the area of headlight spread pattern analysis?
Not in detail, but I have heard in passing from talking with other examiners of research that's been done, but I couldn't give you any specific details.
So, and let me ask you this, are there quite a few video forensic analysts in this country?
There are quite a few. Obviously, it depends on the agency and the department as to the level that they go to, but yes, there are a number.
Are there organizations of video forensic analysts?
Yes.
Groups that they join or that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Would you venture to guess perhaps to a ballpark figure of how many there are in this country?
It's hard to say for sure, but I believe I can tell you the number that attend on average the annual conference of one of those, if that would help you.
Yes.
Around 100 or so.
Okay. And in terms of the headlight spread pattern analysis, you're testifying that you've heard it in passing from others that may use it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've never done any research on it?
Not specifically, no.
And you've never employed that in any work you've done?
I've never been asked to, no.
Have you ever received any training in that?
No, sir.
Even at the FBI?
Even at the FBI.
In the FBI, were you part of their lab team?
I was.
Okay. And in the 3 years you were there, you were never trained on headlight spread pattern analysis?
Our laboratory at the FBI was divided into 3 areas, image analysis, video analysis, and what's called image analysis. Image analysis would have included the reverse projection, those types of things which headlight pattern spread analysis would fall under. I was part of the video analysis team, so no, I wasn't trained in that.
Okay.
There are other examiners there that may have been.
May have been.
Yes.
Do you know if that's do you know if specifically headlight spread pattern analysis is a curriculum at the FBI? But he didn't say whether he knows
That
it's...
wasn't his area. I'm not going to allow you to investigate with this person because he really can't render opinion on 602. Thank you, sir.
Are you familiar with the curriculum at the FBI in regards to all 3 of those areas?
In general terms, yes.
Is headlight spread pattern analysis a part of the curriculum, to your knowledge, in any of those areas?
I know reverse projection is, which is used during that, but I don't know if that specific way of using it is taught. It's been a while since I've been there.
That's all I have, John.
We ready?
No question? No question, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may come down. You wish the witness to be excused, listen.
Yes, sir, we would ask that you relieve from Ms. Pena.
No, yes, you are free to leave, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Call your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. This time the state calls Pete Sestair to the stand. Oh. Right, these.
Raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the Bible. You solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. Just state your full name and spell your last name.
My name is Peter Cestare, C-E-S-T-A-R-E.
Mr. Sestero, where are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Horry County Police Department. I am in the rank of lieutenant. I'm the commanding officer and in charge of the property and evidence section and the crime scene section.
Okay, and what are your current responsibilities at Horry County?
I have overall responsibilities to ensure all evidence integrity and to supervise and oversee all crime scene operations.
And what were your responsibilities in December of 2013?
They would be the same.
Okay. And did you have an occasion to assist in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And if you don't mind, tell this jury, as part of your assistance, did you ever respond to the defendant's house?
Yes, I did.
And if you don't mind, tell this jury on what date that happened.
December 20th, 2013, I responded to a residence at 8786 Highway 814 in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. And is that Sidney Moore's residence?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And if you don't mind, tell this jury, is that residence located where you can see it off the road, or is it behind another house?
It's 814 actually does a sharp turn right at the intersection where their home is. The Moore's house faces out towards a field and a power station, and it sits behind what would be Tammy's parents' house.
Okay. And what did you do when you were at their residence?
On that particular occasion, we were there and invited into the residence. I had taken some photographs inside the residence and did just a brief walkthrough of the house with Tammy Moore's permission.
Okay. And did you snap any photographs?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I snapped several photographs.
Okay. Did you do any searching of the house?
No, ma'am, I did not do any searching. As I said, we were there with her consent and allowed to come in the house and do a walkthrough of the residence.
Okay. And if you don't mind, I'm showing you now states 77, I'm sorry, 74 through 77. Will you look at those and tell me if you recognize them?
Yes, ma'am, I do recognize these.
When were those photographs taken?
These are photographs that were taken by me on December 20th, 2013.
Okay, and who took the photographs?
I did.
Your Honor, at this time the state wishes to put them in evidence and publish them.
Objection. Objection.
76.
Correct.
And if you don't mind, Mr. Sestero, when you were at the residence, did you see whether or not there were any cameras up?
I did see cameras at Tammy and Sidney's residence.
Okay, and where were the cameras located?
There were cameras on the front of the house. When you look at the house from the driveway is directly in front of it, and there are palm trees to the sides of the driveway. There were 3 cameras, as I recall, one up in the center gable of the roof, and one at each corner of the front of the residence, left and right, at the soffit area of the house. In addition, there was another camera inside the residence that I observed.
Okay, and can you see the cameras in these pictures?
No, ma'am, you cannot see the cameras in those pictures.
And if you don't mind, tell the jury why not.
Again, we were there with permission and on an invite to come into the residence. I did not physically see the 3 outside cameras until after I had left the residence and was back at the street in front of the driveway. And from that standpoint, with the camera that I had, I could not focus clear enough to get a picture of the cameras on the outside of the residence. I did see a camera inside the residence, above the stairwell going upstairs. And as I mentioned, we were there with consent and permission to be in the residence, so I did not want to be overly aggressive and photograph anything that would have brought any attention to what my focus was at that point.
Okay. Can you show with these pictures to this jury where you saw the cameras? Can you step down, Judge? Sure. Sorry, the pictures are small, so I didn't blow them up very big.
Okay. I can?
And this one as well.
Okay. Good morning.
You want me to hold them?
No, I'll do it. I can show them the pictures?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please.
All right. This is a close-up view of the front of Tammy and Sidney Moorer's residence. This sits behind the parents' residence. And as you'll see in another photo, there's a driveway that has a truck and a camper leading up to it. I'll show you the second photo, which is taken from a distance. You'll see in this photo, it's the front of the same residence from a distance, taken from about the roadway. And if you'll notice right here in the center gable of the roof, there's a camera mounted up here. There was also a camera here, and on the other corner of the house, which you cannot clearly see because of the trees blocking over here, was also a camera. So there were 3 cameras facing the front of the residence. Inside the residence...
Could you tell Mr. Stair where those cameras were pointing?
All I could tell was they were pointing towards the front of the residence. I did not know at that point specifically what they were focused on.
Sure.
Inside the residence, as you come in the front door, if I can refer back to this photo for just a minute. This is the main door, the front of the house as you come in. And as you come into that door, you step into a foyer and hallway. And looking to your left, I'm standing with my back against the door. You would see the staircase to the left. Looking to the right is like an office den area. There's a bedroom in front of you, and then it continues on to the right into a kitchen and so forth. Directly above here in the corner of the ceiling and wall was a camera facing down the stairwell. That was the only camera that I observed inside at that time.
Now, when you were inside the residence on December 20th, did you ever see a monitor showing what those views of the camera were?
I'll allow that.
Okay.
I did not. I did not see a monitor. As I indicated, I did not see the outside cameras until after I had been in the residence and left. I did see the inside camera while I was in there. And I did make it a point to, in my brief go-through of the house, to look and see if I could see anything that would indicate like a recording device or a monitoring device. I did not see anything at that time.
Okay. And if you don't mind, tell them what this is a picture of, State's Evidence 75.
This is a picture, again, if I can bring you back to here, as you come in the front of that residence, and I mentioned, as you look to your left, you would see the stairwell going out. Again, my back is to the front door. To the right would be a den, and then leading into the kitchen area or like a family room. Directly in front of me would have been a bedroom, and that's a view inside that bedroom door as I looked in.
And that's how it looked on December 20th?
Yes, ma'am. That's a photo I took on December 20th.
Okay. If you don't mind, have a seat, Mr.
Sure.
Stair. Just got a couple
Leave these
questions.
here, or-
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron. Yes, sir.
So total 3 cameras outside?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, did you participate in any of these searches as part of your assistance in the case?
I did participate in a number of searches throughout the course of this investigation.
Okay. And did you ever find a cell phone, clothing, keys, any sign of Heather Elvis in the course of those searches?
No, ma'am. During the course of multiple searches, both in residences and ground searches and so forth, in efforts to try and locate her, several items were found and discounted as being involved in the case. On one occasion, we did in fact find a cell phone on Peachtree Road, and it was immediately identified as a phone that fell off the back of a pickup truck from some young fellow that had been in the area. We were able to identify that and return that to him.
Okay. But you never found any evidence of the victim in this case?
No, ma'am, I never found anything pertaining to Miss Elvis.
No further questions, Your Honor.
So the last part of your testimony right here is you put up here to tell this jury all the stuff that you didn't find, right? Based on those last few questions?
Specifically what the prosecutor asked me, yes, sir.
Right. That you didn't find anything of Heather Elvis's.
That's correct.
That you found a
I did
phone
not.
that fell off the back of somebody's truck.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Now, when you went over, you're a detective.
No, sir, I'm a lieutenant.
You're a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what are your duties again?
I'm in charge of the crime scene response unit in the property and evidence section.
You're not considered a detective.
No, sir.
Are you CSI?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you photograph and capture images that may later be important.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have police reports up there with you that you have generated in this case?
No, sir, I did not generate any reports. I just have some field notes from
So-
things that I participated in.
Thank you. So you never, we're going back 2.5 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
You never wrote a police report.
Pertaining to this case, no, sir.
And today, 2.5 years later, your testimony is that there were cameras at Mr. Moore's house on December 20th,
That's correct.
from memory.
Yes, sir.
When you went to the house, what was the purpose?
I was asked to come along with the detectives that day to document the residence with a camera and in hopes that we would be able to speak with the residents there. That was the primary focus at that point, was to get a better understanding of what may have happened and attempt to assist the detective there in any way I could.
Because, at least at that point, the understanding was, and still is, that Heather Elvis was missing.
Yes, sir.
Her family wanted to know where she was.
Yes, sir.
Police department wanted to know where she was.
Yes, sir.
You were there on a very important task.
Yes, sir.
Which detectives were you with?
Lieutenant Chip Squires from the Detective Division, and I believe, if I may refer to my notes here a minute, Detectives Cobble and Hardy.
Now, in this trial, Detective Cobble has been said to be the lead detective in this case. Would you agree with that at the time?
I can't tell you who the lead detective was on it. I'm not completely sure of that.
So you went to take pictures and
Yes.
document. You went with 2 detectives in the case
Yes.
on a very serious mission.
Yes, sir.
When you saw the cameras, did you tell the detectives?
I spoke with Chip Squires when we were back outside the residence, yes.
And the detective didn't tell you to take a picture of the cameras?
No, sir. I could not see them well enough with the trees blocking to get a photograph of them.
We're going to get to that. So, and you didn't write down in an incident report, police report, or any way document that you saw cameras?
No, sir.
Now, when you got there, Tammy Moorer, who's charged with kidnapping this case as well, my client's wife, voluntarily consented to a search of her house and property.
No, sir. She voluntarily allowed us to come into the house and then allowed me to walk around. I did no way did a search of the residence.
You could have.
That was not what we specifically asked her. We asked her if we could come in and speak to her and if I could take photographs of her residence, which she agreed to.
Did you execute a document, consent to search document?
I did not.
What did you say to her when she answered the door?
I did not say anything to her. The detective spoke with her.
Okay.
I was simply there in a support mechanism.
Did she say, I don't want to talk to you, or you can't come in?
No, sir.
So you did not feel that you, at this point in time, you could search the house?
I did not know.
Yet, you walked through the house and took pictures of the bedroom, right?
Yes, sir. I asked her specifically if I could take photographs inside the house, and she stated that I could.
You took pictures of the front of the house.
Correct.
You took pictures of the stairwell.
Correct.
You took pictures of the driveway and the camper and the truck.
Yes, sir.
Now, you testified on direct that the other reason you didn't take a picture of these cameras is that you couldn't get focus enough or clear enough picture to take the picture.
For the outside cameras from the street, correct. And for the inside camera, at that point, I didn't want to be any more invasive than I felt like I was being with the photographs.
So you're telling me that everybody is scrambling around trying to find out what happened to Heather Elvis. She's been gone 2 days, and you didn't want to be overly aggressive and snap one more photo inside the house.
That's correct. At that point, I wanted to let the detectives know that I observed cameras, and if they felt they were important, they would then take it to the next level.
And so, did they feel it was important?
I just alerted them that the cameras were there.
Now, who told you to try to take a picture of the cameras outside?
No one told me.
That was on your own volition?
Yes, sir.
So, it was on your own volition not to take the picture of the camera on the inside?
That's correct.
Because you didn't want to be overly aggressive?
At that point, I didn't want Miss Moore to realize that I knew there was a camera in the residence.
Okay. So you felt that after 4 pictures, 5 might push her over the edge?
No, sir, I took several pictures in the house.
Okay. How many pictures did you take?
If you give me a minute, I'll take a look and let you know.
Okay.
Inside the residence, I took 23 pictures, and then I took 4 pictures inside the camper parked in the driveway. I'm sorry. Outside the residence, I took 4 pictures. I took then 19 in the residence and 4 inside the camper.
So you actually went inside this camper and took pictures?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. So altogether, you took 19 and 4 is 23. You took 27 pictures out there?
That's correct.
None of the cameras?
No,
Right.
sir.
And are you aware, if you know and you may not, if Detective Cobble ever made note in any of his reports that you reported to him that there were video cameras?
I don't know that, sir.
Have you ever seen a report from Detective Cobble saying that?
No, sir.
Now, I'd like you to step down if Your Honor permits. I'd like you to pick out which of these pictures it was that you were showing the jury where the outside cameras were. Was it this one?
Well, I was referencing the front of the house from this photo and told them that the 2 corner cameras are up in the corners of the eaves here, and that there's another camera up in the center of the gable of the roof there.
Center of the gable of this roof?
Yes, sir.
Let me turn this around. You're telling the jury there's a camera here.
Yes, sir.
Do you see a camera there in this photo?
I don't, but there's a branch from the palm tree leaning in the way there.
Okay. And you felt restricted at that time to move to the right to take a picture of the camera?
Yes, sir, I did. At that particular time, I did, yes.
Because you testified that you couldn't get a clear enough focus to take a picture of it.
That's correct.
Same with this. In this photo, the cameras are here.
Correct.
Do you see any cameras in this photo?
No, sir, again, they're being blocked by the palm trees and the leaves.
Okay. So if you when you took this picture, you saw the cameras. If you pointed up a little bit, you could have took a higher picture, correct?
I could have, but you still would not have seen them with the trees in the way there.
Well, you don't know until you see the picture, right?
You can see the trees clearly there.
I can't see the trees clearly there because you didn't take a picture of them.
Yes, they are. Both trees are right there.
I'm talking about up where the cameras are.
I've got the gable line, but as you can see from the photo, it's blocked at those corners where the trees are.
Okay. That's all down here. So just in summary, you chose not to take a picture of the camera on the inside because you didn't want to be overly aggressive, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that you took 27 pictures.
That's correct.
You didn't take a picture of the cameras on the outside of the house because you couldn't focus clear enough to get a picture.
That's correct. From where those
From where
photos
you were
taken, I
standing.
could not. Sir?
From where you were standing.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't move to a different location to take the picture.
No, sir. At that point, I had left the property when I took those photographs, so I did not want to step back on the property to take additional photographs. Again, I did not want to alert anything to the presence that I was aware there were cameras there. Feeling that if they were going to be needed at some point, I didn't want to make any aggressive actions towards noticing them.
In the last 2.5 years, and particularly on December 20th, you did not document the fact that you saw cameras on the property.
No, sir. I gave that information verbally to the lieutenant over the detectives and to the detectives.
And you've never written any report in this case.
On this case, I believe I may have written some property sheets, but no, sir, I have not written any reports on this case. My job was to review the reports.
And you're not aware if Detective Cobble ever wrote a report indicating that you told him that?
No, sir, I'm not aware of that. Detective Cobble at that time fell under Lieutenant Chip Squires. He would have been responsible for...
You aware if Chip Squires ever wrote a report indicating you told him that?
I'm not aware of that, sir.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
Just a couple, Your Honor. Lieutenant Sestero, when you were out there on the 20th, at that time, did you or anybody else know anything about the defendant's truck being caught on surveillance camera on 814 and DNS Siteworks?
Yes, ma'am. I may refer back to my notes again. Not on that particular day. It was later on, approximately a week later, before I was made aware that there may be footage on another camera system.
Okay, so you didn't know anything then about the defendant's truck movement?
On the 20th.
Sustain and rephrase your question.
Okay. So at that time, were they suspects?
No, ma'am. At that time, we were there just as a cursory visit to the residence and to try and document anything we could to assist us in locating where Miss Elvis was.
Okay. No further questions.
Recross.
Sir, you're referring to your notes. Would I be able to look at your notes?
Of course. This is the page I'm referring to.
So would you agree with me, and you can look back if you need, are you referring, when you refer to your notes, you're referring to this box here, 12/20/2013?
There are several for that date.
As pertains to this issue, going to the house?
Yes, sir, I'm referring to this box here.
Okay. And can you read that box?
It says Lieutenant Sestair, Lieutenant Squires, Detectives Cobble and Hardy responded to 8786 Highway 814, Myrtle Beach, residents of Sidney and Tammy Moorer.
And that's the only documentation of that day?
Yes, sir. From my standpoint, yes, sir.
Nothing further.
You may come down, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. This time the state calls Jacob Melton to the stand. Thank you.
Thank you.
So please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You're sworn in my home. State your full name and spell your last name.
Jacob Lee, Jacob Lee Melton,
Okay. Jacob, how old are you?
17,
Okay. And where do you currently live?
975 Nottingham Lakes Road.
Okay. Do you still live with your parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Come up just a little closer, yeah? Thank you. You still live with your parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, do you know Sidney Moorer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if you don't mind, tell this jury how you know the defendant.
When I was in elementary school, I used to hang out with his son. We'd go over and we'd just play on the playground, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you were friends originally with his son.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been friends with his son?
4 years from the day. Yeah.
Okay. And are y'all still friends?
Not really. I don't keep in contact with him. I haven't heard nothing from him.
Okay. But there was never any falling out or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, while y'all were friends, would you go over to the defendant's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let me show you a picture. Showing you now state's evidence number 76. You recognize that house?
Yes, ma'am.
And whose house is that?
Sidney Moorer, Tammy.
Okay. Now, had you ever been inside the house as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just so this jury knows, did you ever spend the night over there as his friend?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And had you been over there before Heather Elvis had gone missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And over there just to hang out with Christian as your buddy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And about how old were you then?
14, 15.
Okay. Now, during that time frame, did you ever see any cameras up at the defendant's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to show this picture on the screen so the jury can look at it. I didn't print this one off very big. Would you mind stepping down so you can show them where the cameras were?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And that way you can see as well. Yep, and you go show it up here too if you don't mind, if we can get it up.
Just give me 1 second.
Okay, they can be looking up there, and you tell them where these cameras were.
Well, there's another arc up here, and there's one in the middle up there, right here on the left side of the house. There's one in the corner.
Can you hear me? No. Can you speak up just a little? I know it's hard. It's okay, and they got to hear you too. So how about stand right here?
There was a camera right here in the second arc, not the first arc, but the second arc in the second story. And there's another camera right here on the left corner. And I think there was a camera, I'm not sure, right here on this corner too. Looking over the playground.
Okay, so when we look up there, can you see the cameras?
No, ma'am, because the trees are going.
Okay. And can you see them in this picture?
No, ma'am.
And why not?
for the trees are gone.
Okay, okay. Now, the last time you were there, before this lady went missing, was that between Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at that time, were the cameras up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, had you ever been inside the house? Okay. And if you don't mind, tell this jury, did you ever see a monitor inside the house showing what was on those cameras?
Yes.
Okay. And you got, yes, just speak up so this lady can hear you. I can't hardly hear her.
Well, why don't you have him, you don't need to examine him now, let's let him get on the mic. So let's
I gotta show him one more.
Well, do go through the pictures and don't do the examination part, so
I will.
let's, thank you, that'll help the jury and help the court reporter.
If we can put state's evidence number 75 up there. That way they're looking along with us. Tell them, is this a room in Sidney Moore's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, had you been in this room before?
Yes.
Okay. And were you in this room between Thanksgiving and Christmas time before Heather Elvis went missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, is this how that room appeared when you saw it last?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you don't mind, tell this jury how that room has changed.
The drapes right here, the color of the back wall, and this picture. I don't remember this picture being here.
I'm sorry. Tell them, if you don't mind, face them and I'll hold the picture and you tell them what's changed.
The drapes weren't here. The back wall was in blue. This picture wasn't here. And I'm pretty sure this cabinet was moved where the picture was.
Okay. And if you don't mind, where had you seen the monitor for the camera system?
Where the picture is.
Okay. And what did that monitor show?
4 individual screens of the cameras.
Okay. And what were those cameras pointing at that you could see on the screen?
One was to the, if you're standing at the house, one camera was to the left side yard, another camera was to the driveway, and the other camera was over the playground. And I think there was another one, but I'm not sure where it was from.
Okay. So how many screens were up on the monitor?
4.
Okay. Now, in this picture, where was the monitor when you last saw it?
Right here.
Okay. Where that picture frame is now? Okay. Now, and the last time, when was the last time you had seen that monitor up?
Between Christmas and Thanksgiving last time.
Okay, before the young lady had gone missing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you don't mind, have a seat, Mr. Melton. Now, I don't notice anything on this picture.
Objection. I'll
Yes,
allow
sir.
us to
Thank you,
ask
Your
you
Honor.
questions.
Was the monitor sitting on anything in that room?
No, ma'am.
How was it up?
Like a TV wall mount. Like
Okay.
one of them movable ones. Sort of. Not the ones you can move, but the ones that just stay in place. And you can just move right or left.
Okay, so it was mounted to the wall and you can move it this way or that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, were there any cameras inside the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you don't mind, I'm showing you now state's evidence number 71. Where was the camera inside the house?
At the top of the staircase, if the staircase, you go up the stairs and you take it right. Before you take that right there, when you, it's kind of hard to explain. Where there's no step, there's like a flat piece, and then when you go up the steps, that flat piece straight up is in the corner.
Okay, I'm showing you now picture 71. State's evidence 71. Was it, where, can you see it in this picture?
No, ma'am.
Is this the staircase you're referring to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where is it relative to this staircase?
Right over here, right there. In the middle of the staircase where the window is on the top left.
Okay, and if you don't mind, just stand right here at the corner. and show this jury where it was inside the house. Okay. Now, about how many years had you been going over to the defendant's house?
It wasn't really like a day-to-day thing. It was just like sporadic. I had to go over there 2 or 3 weeks, like in a row, and then I wouldn't go there for a month. Then I'd go back over there 2 or 3 weeks later, and so on and so on for about 3.5 years.
Okay. And when you would go over there, would you ever go places with Christian and Sidney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And who would take you in Christian places?
Sydney.
Okay. And was he always the one that drove the vehicle they had?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you ever see his wife driving the vehicle?
No, no.
No further questions from Mr. Melton.
All right, cross-examine.
Yes, sir.
And you recall I asked you just to be honest, right?
Yes, sir.
To the best of your ability.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you something, and nobody's trying to get in trouble. In 2013, were you using marijuana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you still using marijuana?
No, sir.
Okay. Because I want to pin down some of these dates with you. How often would you smoke marijuana in 2013, honestly?
More rarely.
I'm not sure how this is relevant.
Well, I'll allow a little, but you're going to have to be specific with respect to the testimony that was given. I understand the relevant possibly, but you can,
I'll go that first and get to it.
All right.
All right, so we'll move on, but you were smoking marijuana back then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do you recall when the Moores took a family vacation?
Yes, sir.
Tammy and Sidney and all the kids?
Yes, sir.
You recall that they took that vacation from November 21st to December 11th? Does that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
They were gone a long time, cross country.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Thanksgiving is what? Would you agree is like what? November 25th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they were gone by then, right?
Yes, sir.
And they got back on December 11th, December 12th. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, you saw cameras, right?
Yes, sir.
You understand I'm trying to determine when you saw them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if you saw them between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it would have had to have been between, say, when they got back, you were over there December 11th up to, say, December 25th.
Yes, sir.
So it's possible, at least possible, that you saw the cameras on December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, or 25th, because that's up to Christmas, if it was between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now, you recall in December of 2014, Nancy Livesay and Martin Spratling coming to your house to talk to you? If you don't remember the exact date, but
Yeah.
how many times did they come talk to you? Twice?
I don't recall them ever coming to talk to me. It was other authorities.
You don't remember them being there?
No, no, sir.
Okay. You don't remember your mom? What's your mom's name?
Laura.
Laura?
Yes, sir.
You don't remember a time when they came, they spoke with you? All right, I'll tell you what, I'm sorry. Let's don't say it was at your house. Do you recall a time speaking with these two with your mother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it wasn't at your house?
Yes, sir.
All right, where was that?
The courthouse here.
At their office downstairs?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall the first time being in 2014?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall the first time you talked to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall telling them that you liked being around Sidney because he wasn't controlling like Tammy?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to let you look at something, see if that might refresh your recollection. Oh, I'm sorry. This is
Quick glance would be nice.
Steve Brown report. This is a report of that meeting, and I'd like you to just take a look at it here and see if that refreshes your memory of saying that. This last sentence.
Yes, sir.
So you did say that.
Yes, sir.
You recall while you were there, and maybe before that, you had learned that Sidney and Tammy Moore were arrested for kidnapping Heather Elvis.
Yes, sir.
You're aware that we're in trial today for the trial of Sidney Moore kidnapping Heather Elvis,
Yes, sir.
and that Tammy Moore is awaiting her trial.
Yes, sir.
You recall telling them that Sidney had two phones, a flip phone and a Galaxy phone.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall telling them that Tammy Moore had two phones, an iPhone 4 and an iPhone 5?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm going to let you look at this again, see if this refreshes what you told me. And it's been a long time since I right here. This sounds.
I do not recall that. I do not recall that.
Could you read what that says for the jury? Start just this sentence, start here.
On the phones.
Jacob.
Jacob said that he recalled Sidney having two
He
phones.
doesn't recall, he doesn't recall.
I agree. He didn't write that. I'm not allowed that to be written. That the entities to be public.
Well, you testified that you do remember Sidney having a flip phone and a Galaxy phone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't remember the next thing they put here, that you told him Tammy had two phones, an iPhone 4 and an iPhone 5?
Yes, sir.
You remember telling him anything about Tammy's phones?
Yes, sir.
What did you tell him?
I told him that she had one iPhone 5.
Okay. So she only had one iPhone.
Yes, sir. That I knew of.
That helps. Thank you. All right, so then you recall meeting again with the same people recently.
Yes, sir.
And was that roughly June 1st, 2016?
Yes, sir.
Which is about, you would agree with me, about 19 days before this trial started.
Yes, sir.
About 2.5 years after the incident alleged.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In this statement, you say that you saw a camera system between Thanksgiving and Christmas of that year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you intimidated in this meeting?
No, sir.
Were you nervous?
No, sir.
Okay. Can I ask you why in December 2014 you never told them that you saw cameras?
I don't recall that, sir.
Okay. You don't recall, so this wouldn't help at all, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember if you told them anything about cameras then?
No, sir.
Okay. So, while they're preparing for trial, they had you come in on June 1st, 2016, right?
Yes, sir.
And then they talked to you about seeing cameras, right?
Correct.
So you have to remember back 2.5 years to whether you saw cameras, correct?
Correct.
And you say maybe between Thanksgiving and Christmas I saw cameras.
Yes, sir.
you know the Moores were out of town on a cross-country trip from November 21st to 12/11/13.
Yes, sir.
And you've already told me then that if you saw cameras between that time period, it would have to be between December 11th and December 25th.
Yes, sir.
And you agree with me that you could have seen them on December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, or 24th, or 25th?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have for Mr. Melton.
Redirect.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Mel, do you remember Sidney driving a white truck at one point?
Yes, sir. I mean, ma'am.
It's okay. It's okay. Mr. Pantsuit. Tell this jury, were there cameras up and a monitor up when he had that white truck?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So when he had a white truck, that monitor was up and the cameras were gone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you saw him again between Thanksgiving and Christmas when he had a black truck?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Jake. Do you feel compelled to answer yes to her questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, did you ever tell anybody in any of these times you met with them that you saw cameras while he drove a white truck? Do you remember ever telling that before?
Yes, sir.
So if you did, it would have been in this report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I can't show the report. You're certain of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've got nothing further.
Very well, you may come down. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we'll take a recess, let you go to your jury room, do not continue your deliberation. We'll be with you in about 15 minutes. Thank you. Everybody, be seated until the jury part, please. Thank you. Anything from the state before we recess? No, Your Honor. Anything to defend?
No, Your Honor.
We'll be at ease for about 15 minutes, please. Thank you.